Manchester City 2, Fulham 1, a big 3 points to the defending champions. Just take a look at the significance of that regarding the top of the table for the moment. Then City 1 point clear of Arsenal, are in action against Chelsea on Sunday. Only one man really to join us after that result.
Yes.
There he is. Jan, I thought it was interesting, the interview that Erling Haaland gave you after the game, saying that was one of the most nervous he's ever been.
Yeah, it was a funny interview because, as you said, there was a game where you thought that it's going to be the easy game for them. But it was very intense, as it's been the last 3 games for Manchester City against Brighton, Leicester away, and now Fulham. And he said, yeah, I've never been so nervous in my life. I've never been so happy in my life. And I asked him why. He said, because there was a lot of people looking at me. Okay, you are maybe at this time the most attractive player in the world and everybody wants to speak to you. But it was about he's not losing the rhythm. He's been out for only 1 week and he came back in the game. And this was a big, big win for them, because I think the 3 games I mentioned, those are the games to win you trophies. They lost at Anfield, but then they just go out and take 9 points. But it was interesting, boys, to see this game, because it was 10 against 11 for a long, long period, but you didn't feel that. They were so dominant, as you saw on the stats. They had 70% of the ball, although not creating the big, big chances. But this was a big win for Manchester City. And this was an intense game, not the game we expected.
Jan, take us through the ovation he got when he came on as a substitute late on, and then when he scores that pen.
Yeah, I mean, Etihad, they're sometimes criticised for not being loud enough, but it was all about Erling. And even when Alvarez scored a fantastic goal, I mean, should not be underestimated. The way his vision, his timing, fantastic goal from Alvarez. But it was all about Haaland, and I was thinking, will Pep Guardiola do like all the coaches do? Let's put that man on after 1 hour, and he did in the 61st minutes, I think. Then he came on and he had to be him going offside, scoring goals that you don't see very often. But he said that De Bruyne took a touch too much, he said in a nice way, and he got that not given. But then the penalty, and we know that Manchester City got a problem with that, and so it was another best penalty. I spoke to Leno after the game, and he couldn't believe he didn't say it's so close, but no cigar for him. But yes, it was all down to the image of Erling Braut Haaland, and Erling scored today his 18th goal in the Premier League. It's the same total as his dad, who was a defender. And the 18th goal was the same that most Norwegians have scored ever in the league. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who used to be his coach in Molde. So, and he's done that in the first week of November. So I think we have to praise the young lad.
What was your top record of a season, Jan?
I had 13 in my season. My first season with Swindon. But if you put that down to not scoring in the first half of the season, that was not so bad. But this guy, but this guy will break all records. This guy will break all records, and he's on target. And I think that was the relief for him today. That was, as you know, the goal getter, you know, you don't want to get out of the rhythm, and to miss a couple of games as he has had, that is enough to take that coolest rhythm in the world out of your body to score goals.
You surprised that he said he was nervous?
I am. Seeing Erling Haaland, the way he's taking penalties, and then this one. Haaland has a way of striking the ball with the inside of his foot that has more pace on it than most people do. The only people I've seen it do it in that way, Van Nistelrooy, Alan Shearer. So to see Erling Haaland, albeit it scored, but to see him hit that ball by his standards, as poorly as it did, hearing Jan saying that he was nervous, it makes sense. It makes sense that he was nervous, and that's why he didn't strike it as well. I am surprised to hear Erling Haaland say that he was nervous in a game. I've often found when young players come through and play at the level that Haaland has from such a young age, nerves never seem to be a part of their understanding of football.
Right.
They just go out and play as they always have, and it seems whether you're playing in the Premier League, you're playing in the World Cup, they take it as though they're playing on the playground with friends. So to hear Erling Haaland at this stage given everything he's done, given how early he burst onto the scene, for nerves to be a part of today's game does catch me a little bit by surprise.
But it's
And that's,
refreshing.
Danny,
It's
Yeah,
refreshing.
okay.
It's refreshing.
Yeah.
I look at a player that we all think to be indestructible. Mm-hmm. That
Ice
he's
cold.
a machine, if you will. And guess what? There are emotions there. What I would gather, and actually I would turn around and say, you know what? It's actually impressive that he's able to handle the nerves, that he feels them, that he's able to harness that, control it, and then execute. It wasn't the best execution, but in the end, it goes to the back of the net. He scores a game winner. They get 3 points, and that's all that matters. So the more you go through moments like this, where you feel the nerves, you're able to control it, the better you're going to become. So here's the scary thought. Erling Haaland can actually be better. That's the part that if you're a Manchester City fan, that's the part that is even most encouraging.
Jan, a little disappointed that you kept talking there, Ali, when he wanted to talk. Jan?
No, I didn't. I just want to. I've tried to tell for a lot of times that this is a 22-year-old lad. I told you when he was 20. This is not a machine. This is not a monster. This is a guy who goes out there so prepared to do his best, but still being a 22-year-old. And sometimes, and I like the way Xhaka said that, because normally you think that these young lads, they have no nerves at all. But seeing him also sometimes by interview, especially when he was in Germany, it's not to be arrogant. This is just to be a 20-year-old that everybody in the world wants to speak to. And I think it's more, like Ali is saying, it's more impressive that this guy managed to block out all this noise all the time. And today, I think it's also impressive, and I think it's doing well to kind of admit he is nervous. How many times do you hear players say that? And we all know, if we're honest, 9 of 10 are nervous in a lot of situations, both in life, on and off the pitch.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.